Are you ready?
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Making sense of it all.
Now I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. All right, it's Friday. Where do you want to start? A lot of people are celebrating this.
I guess.
Suppose.
I mean, okay, well, the Senate gave final approval to a debt ceiling and budget cuts package late last night. Joe Biden, once he recovers from his fall yesterday, will, I guess, sign it. And so there we are. I know a lot of Republicans are ticked. A lot of more liberal Democrats are ticked for completely different reasons. You know, one says, well, we're still spending too much. The other says, no, we're not spending enough. But, hey, that's the way the game is played, unfortunately. You know, the more conservative caucus within the House of Representatives and certainly in the Senate just doesn't have the sway to get what they want.
In the end, we're going to have to pay for this one way or another.
No, we won't.
There's a good chance that
kids, grandkids.
Well, I was thinking more like you'll be gone, I'll probably be gone. Van Camp will be around to pay for it.
That's good. Van Camp can work two jobs.
By the time those years come along, I'll be probably stuck in a gulag somewhere.
Yeah, one of those barrels around you. That'll be it.
No, I mean, that's what politicians do. I saw a couple of pieces that kind of encapsulated it, saying they keep kicking the can down the road because they need to keep getting reelected.
But the debt just keeps piling up. I mean, it doesn't go away.
No. And a lot of people feel like somewhere down the road it'll be the end of the country. But it's Friday, and we don't need to talk about that.
Can't some country take it on and consolidate it like they do the loans on TV?
China's going to be really ready to do that.
Yeah.
Consolidate our loan, make it a payment more reasonable.
Of course.
Yeah.
And, of course, they're not going to be trying to take advantage of the situation.
They don't want anything for it. No, they just want to help.
Yes. You mentioned Biden's fall, David.
Yeah.
That got a lot of coverage.
Yeah, he took another tumble yesterday, and, oh, boy, he was at the, Air Force Academy graduation ceremony handing out diplomas, and then, whoopsie-daisy, took a tumble, fell down again. At least this time it wasn't walking upstairs. He was just walking on a flat surface, didn't see a sandbag or something down on the ground, and tripped over, fell down.
Yeah. And I suppose if this was a one-time thing, it would be like, oh, there was a sandbag holding down a monitor or whatever. And, well, that could happen. But it's all of the other stuff that goes with it. How many other falls? How he can't remember where he is. Yeah. He can't remember that people are dead. He can't speak, in a way that you can understand what he's saying.
He can't remember where he fell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true, too. Yes. But this was a surprise to a lot of people, what Trump said about it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Donald Trump was actually reacting to the news as it was breaking.
Roll it.
He just fell on what stage? He's at the Air Force Academy. He actually fell down? Well, I hope he wasn't hurt. But it's the whole thing is crazy. You got to be careful about that. Because you don't want that.
Okay, hold on. I mean, again, this is like time. Stand still for a second. He's reacting to it as he hears it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what do I want to say about this? That's not good.
Is he okay? You got to be careful.
Yeah.
Even if you have to tiptoe down a ramp, you've got to. That's too bad. If you fell, it's too bad. Look, it's just. That's a bad place to fall when you're making. I think it was the Air Force Academy, right? That's not inspiring. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's not inspiring. Well, it's not inspiring. And look, I saw somebody make the point. Anybody who is saying it's no big deal to watch the commander-in-chief fall down multiple times, not a one-off, but multiple times, right. Whether it's on a bike, walking up staircases, almost falling when he was in Japan. Mm-hmm. Anybody who says that that's no big deal is delusional or lying on purpose. Come on, man.
Agree.
You know that optics do kind of matter, and it's not just, he took a tumble, okay? It's the fact that the guy regularly gives up on sentences, says words that are not words, forgets what day it is, forgets what time it is, forgets what year it is, forgets who's president, forgets who's vice president.
Right.
Seems like you're getting kind of ticky-tack here.
It's that right.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
geez, I mean, who hasn't looked around in a room in front of the nation and asked where a dead person is?
Right. That's just it. And you see the polling. People are concerned about the guy's mental fitness. But again, the Democratic Party, they don't want him primaried. They don't want to do a debate. I mean, they just want to push it through because they want control. I mean, we know this. A lot of people are still thinking, why? I guess it's out of respect for the president. They don't want to do a debate with Robert Kennedy Jr. I don't know what they make of that. There are some people really upset. And others just kind of go on with their life, and when it comes time to vote, they'll vote. And they'll vote because a lot of people said, everybody else is evil and Biden loves people. So they'll probably vote for him. Kind of sad, but that's what it is. Now, you have a very good memory, David. And you were thinking about the time Biden mocked Trump.
Oh, yeah. Joe Biden, again, took a tumble yesterday, and I wanted to look back at that time Joe made fun of Trump for carefully walking down a ramp.
Roll it.
Look at how he steps and look how I step. Watch how I run up ramps and he stumbles down ramps, okay? Come on.
Oh.
Well, now.
Homeboy can't even walk up a staircase, okay? Come on.
See, there are those times where for a second you might start to feel bad for the guy.
No, I don't.
Like, okay, he's getting older. We've seen this happen with people we love before. They get a little bit older. There's some falls. It reminds you of that. You kind of feel bad. And then you're reminded of something he did or said. And you're like, okay, I don't feel so bad anymore. Yeah, it's one of those things.
My mom is 84.
Yes?
I took my mom into the doctor a little while ago, and they were testing for different things, and one of the things they test for is stroke, particularly if you're a little foggy mentally, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the questions they asked was, who's the President of the United States? My 84-year-old mother pauses and goes, what is that old guy's name? Then she said, oh, Biden. That's right, Biden.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't know that.
My mom's 84. She said, what's that old guy's name?
Holy smokes.
Yeah, true story. Yep.
Wow. Wanted to know what you made of all the back and forth with the documentary from Matt Walsh and Daily Wire, What is a Woman? And Twitter. It was supposed to be shown, and then it was like, well, hold on a second. We got to put a warning on this, and we're not going to do this platform. And then, the co-owner of Daily Wire, Jeremy Boring, comes out and says, hey, man, you see what Twitter's doing here? What happened to free speech? And then Elon Musk comes back, and he says, some people made a mistake there, and then has, responded by putting it on his own, Twitter page, his Twitter account. He shares it there. What's going on? What is happening with that? What do you think?
I think a couple people got fired as a result of it. If you're not familiar, What is a Woman is a documentary about the insane gender ideology. Matt Walsh with the Daily Wire is the one who put it together. They were going to, or they had made an agreement with Twitter to let Twitter host the documentary for free for 24 hours. And when they posted the documentary on Twitter, Twitter would not allow you to share it, would not allow you would not allow it basically to get the reach that otherwise it would have. And so then they complained directly to the owner of Twitter, Elon Musk, and he said, shouldn't have happened. We're getting this fixed. A couple of people got fired as a result of this. And so, again, there's a lot of work to be done on the platform of Twitter.
Yes.
Including a lot of people who are dug in like ticks, who are going to do everything possible to make sure that, Elon Musk's vision, whatever it may be behind closed doors, does not actually get done.
I think he's trying to do the best he can now, but a lot of people are saying, hey, you know what the problem is? I mean, you got advertisers that are involved, and they're, threatening to withhold cash. And so he's trying to do this dance because it's, yes, it's about free speech, but they got to make some money. And so, where's that going to give? Because he has said, no, this is going to be about free speech. And people have the question, is it? And I hope that it is. But it's been really interesting. And I know, you have something from the Babylon Bee we're going to get to in a sec. But I know the people that run the Babylon Bee, they were out there on Twitter going, Elon, what's up, man? Why is this not being shown or suppressed? So we'll see where all that goes. But as far as the Babylon Bee, what is a man?
Yeah. So the Christian satire site, the Babylon Bee, has posted its own hour and 40-minute long documentary asking the question, what is a man? And here's how it goes.
In today's changing social landscape of gender identity and expression, traditional roles of masculinity and femininity are seeming to blend together into a wide and diverse spectrum. This raises a peculiar question, a question we hope to answer by the end of this documentary. So join us on our journey to answer the question, what is a man?
Well, a man, it's got the XY chromosome. He's got testicles and a penis.
All right, I think we got it. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Things up.
And then they left like 90 some odd minutes of credits to roll. So it is actually like an hour and 40-minute long video, but it's mostly credits. Like, yeah, all right. You got the chromosomes, you got the testicles, you got the penis. That's a man. All right. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Roll the credits. That's fantastic. Gotta love the bee. Ah, man. All right, a lot to get to. Well, somebody got hired at Harvard. You won't believe who. And people in Chicago are upset about the illegals coming in. You got to hear this audio straight ahead. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. I'm just about to get to this story, and David's laughing, and he says you won't believe it. We won't believe what?
Oh, man.
The remake, the live-action remake of The Little Mermaid is being slammed by black activists for erasing slavery. It's dangerous.
What?
Wait a minute.
What do you mean?
As the story goes, The Little Mermaid is being criticized by a prominent diversity advocate for its erasure of slavery in the Caribbean. Marcus Ryder, an influential British campaigner and chair of the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, applauded the casting of Halle Bailey as Ariel, but took issue with how the movie showcased racial harmony. A world in which the very idea of race for the main character seems to be subverted, consciously ignored, and at the same time black beauty is celebrated, needs to be applauded. But while the importance of casting the Little Mermaid as a black woman has been commented on in numerous articles, the casting of other roles is also worth a mention. At the same time, the Little Mermaid's father is white, while her mermaid sisters are of various different races and ethnicities. Race is a social construct, as we know it, clearly does not exist underwater.
God. Which, seriously.
You got to keep that thing up or you lose your job.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Right. You got to find a problem, right? Because if you don't, you're without a job. Yes.
We don't do our children any favors by pretending that slavery didn't exist. For me, Disney's preference to try and wish the inconvenient truth away says more about the adult creatives than it does about the children's ability to work through it. It's encouraging historical amnesia.
Oh, my goodness. So basically, any Disney movie, if you're going to redo it, even if you're going to do like Snow White or whatever, there's got to be an apology for slavery or something.
Yes.
You've got to acknowledge it. It can't just be a kid movie.
No. Why does it have to be Snow White?
Well, speaking of race, race is the story here in Chicago. I saw another clip of a city council meeting, and people had to be escorted out. People are ticked off because you got, a lot of people here illegally go up to Chicago. Well, they're a sanctuary city. They're welcoming, right?
Yes.
So they approved like $51 million for housing. It sounds like it'll be, decent.
The trailers have areas for sleeping and gathering, updated bathrooms, heating and air conditioning, and even a basketball court.
Well, nice. Hoop it up. It's a little warm in Chicago in the summertime, but still, okay, something to do, right? People are not happy.
Why?
We can all take turns saying, hey, remember when I said this?
Yeah.
Just listen.
With the migrant crisis widening, so too are political divisions that were on full display at this city council meeting.
We are not going to be ignored, Brandon. Mayor Johnson.
Some from the public had to be escorted out following several disruptions.
What do you mean be ignored, you may ask? Well, we're getting to it.
As the council voted 34-13 to approve $51 million in emergency migrant funding, the debate igniting anger over decades of neglect in black communities.
I know it's right to want to help other people, because as black people, that's what we do. But when the hell are y'all going to help us?
Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Whoa! He's not happy.
Well,
may have brought up the point. We're told all the time, marginalized communities, right? We've got to have resources put there.
Right.
Okay? Not to even mention the homeless crisis all over the United States. So whenever we're saying, yeah, bring all these millions of people through, we can take care of them. We can't take care of the people we have. That's what you always tell us.
Yeah, but that was supposedly replacement theory, if you were worried
about. And that was racist.
Yeah, now, yeah.
Yes. It'd be like Disney ignoring slavery with The Little Mermaid is what it's like. Story goes on.
Mayor Brandon Johnson offering few details about his long-term migrant plan.
Really? We're having community meetings to stand up facilities that we do have access to. We're working hard. It's been 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm pretty confident we'll get to the third week.
That was it.
What?
He's confident we'll get to the third week.
That's good.
Okay.
The world's not going to end. Okay,
yeah,
good.
Exactly.
What? Exactly.
So what?
Yes. Real leader. What a mess that
well,
is.
You know
People
what?
are ticked.
Do you think this will be the thing that maybe they'll think about voting for someone other than a D moving forward? Do you think this might be something like that?
My goodness,
but you voted for this garbage. You voted for it.
Well, yeah, because they told these people, you're marginalized. We're there to help you. We're the only ones that can help.
Golly.
And they're slowly being told, we never really cared about you. You've been a tool for us. But now the tool is looking, shinier with the Hispanics.
We know we have your vote. We don't care.
Yep. By the way, I mentioned somebody was getting hired at Harvard. That would be Lori Lightfoot. She is headed to Harvard to teach about health policy and leadership.
Come on, man. Really?
Yes. I saw the story. I shared it with Van Camp. I'm like, don't tell Robbins until we get on the air.
Golly. Got enough straw for the census cowboy when he gets there?
The director of Senior Leadership Fellows Program at Harvard said, we believe our students will benefit from her experiences, insights, and knowledge of leadership decision-making.
What not to do.
Yeah, I know it's a radical concept, but maybe you put people who've actually succeeded at something in these positions.
Lori Lightfoot said, I'll share specifics about the way we manage the COVID-19 public health crisis.
Oh, God.
And we'll delve into how we approach the crisis in an avenue to address long-standing public health equity challenges using data and science.
Holy smokes,
It's a
man.
freaking comedy routine across the world.
It is.
Okay. Donald Trump says, I don't know anything about the tape. There's that and a news update next. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. I'm Jamie Markley, the Gen Xer. David Van Camp, the Millennial. The Sexy Boomer in the Stones t-shirt. Scott Robbins.
Charlie Watts' birthday today.
Oh, you're celebrating.
Yeah, the late nice. Charlie Watts.
Yeah. You know what? I have a story that links Mick Jagger coming up in just a few minutes. Before we get there, Donald Trump was talking about the latest, legal issue. It's one after another. Can't keep it all straight.
Yeah, the CNN's big scoop yesterday was that they'd heard from someone who'd heard from someone else that said someone told them. They had a source that said they'd heard a tape of Donald Trump talking about having classified documents after leaving the White House. No one's heard the tape, but they have it on, good authority based on several removed sources. It's all right, whatever. But he's supposedly talking about wanting to share information about Iran, but he can't because I can't declassify it. Oh, final deal with the coffin. Walls are closing in. All right.
Yeah.
Trump was asked about it during his Hannity town hall last night on Fox News.
Do you know anything about it? No, I don't know anything about it. All I know is this. Everything I did was right. We have the Presidential Records Act, which I abided by 100%. Biden has 1,850 boxes with a lot of classified stuff that he's not supposed to have. In his case, I have the right to declassify as president. He's got 1,850 boxes that he doesn't want anyone to see. He had 7 or 8 boxes in Chinatown in Washington, D.C., where nobody even speaks English in Chinatown. Chinatown is it's in favor of China.
Xenophobic! You know that's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you get that number of boxes Biden has?
What do you mean?
He said he had 1,800 or whatever?
There's different reports out there.
Wow. I didn't know that.
And he has boxes in Chinatown. They took those boxes and they sent them to Boston to his lawyer so his lawyer could look through them and probably do things that you're not supposed to do. They're in his garage. They're all over the floor. They're sitting under his Corvette with the grease and everything else on a garage door that you could cut with a scissor, and no Secret Service. I have Secret Service all over the place. Mar-a-Lago is a fort.
Yeah, but did he have Russian hookers pee on him?
Oh, well, yeah.
It's crazy, man.
I learned some things now I had no idea was true. I didn't know any of that. A lot of
Really?
That. No, I didn't know there was that many. That he had that many, and they were boxes of it going to lawyers and whatever.
I mean, if anyone's paying attention, you understand when it comes to the FBI, the difference on how things are treated. I mean, you're seeing it all the time. And I suppose, and I'll say this again, if you only get your news from legacy media, you probably don't even know this.
But wasn't this reported as a handful of documents?
Well, it was a lot.
6 or 7 or whatever that they found.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard for me to say,
Biden?
no, I knew this all along, but
yeah.
But it was
Biden.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yes. But just an oversight. And the difference was he cooperated. Remember, that's what the left kept saying.
Right.
You know, that whole thing. Okay. Don't know how much truth there is to this story. And I was honestly surprised that it made it to MSN.com. Were you surprised, David? This Jamie Foxx story?
Yeah, not really, because they just aggregate from different sources. It was from OK Magazine, and if it picks up on a trending topic like Jamie Foxx, who apparently has been very seriously ill with some unknown health malady. I mean,
Yeah, but this said the vaccine.
Yeah, this one actually said, Jamie Foxx left paralyzed and blind from blood clot in his brain after receiving COVID-19 vaccine. And I want to say, I don't know if that's true or not. It comes from one source, a journalist, a Hollywood journalist, gossip columnist named A.J. Benza, who talked about it on the Dr. Drew podcast and said, that's what my source is saying, that Jamie had a blood clot in his brain after he got the shot. He didn't want to get the shot, but the movie was on. He was pressured to get it. That's the story there. And again, I don't know if that's true or not. I
do. It's absolutely true.
It could be.
We don't know that yet.
But
you said it with such conviction.
I'm just saying, no, we don't. We obviously we don't know it's true.
No.
But I think we could all agree it's odd that no one really knows what happened to the guy.
Well, there's been no pushback from his camp either. Like, that's an obvious lie, what's being perpetrated about our dad or our husband or whatever, our friend.
But if there is, I haven't heard it.
I haven't heard anything, no.
Now, there was one news organization that said this was published without any proof of anything.
Right.
Wild conspiracy, they were calling it that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that it's a wild conspiracy. I would say consider the source, and that this journalist is somebody who ran cover for Harvey Weinstein for a while. So I don't really trust this guy either.
Right.
But then I hear that he punched a Howard Stern producer in the face one time, and now I don't know what to believe because that producer probably had it coming.
All right. So, man, what could it be? I mean, we heard Tyson say stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did say that.
You don't know.
I mean,
you don't know.
I'm telling you what, nothing's leaked out that I'm aware of until just recent, until now, if that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody's kind of played the game like, well, he's very ill. They won't tell us why he's ill. They won't tell us how long he's going to be ill. Nobody says anything. Then there was the rumor that his daughter put out there that 3 or 4 weeks ago he was playing pickleball.
Yeah, and then you heard that was not true.
That wasn't true either. So I don't know.
That the family is trying to protect him and have privacy.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But if it's from the vaccine, holy smokes, Daddy-O.
Well, and even, okay, so let's say for the sake of argument, he got vaccinated, and then not long after this happened. Okay?
Yeah.
in my opinion, would still be defenders saying, well, you can't prove it was just the vaccine. There could have been other things going on with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
which I wouldn't believe personally, but that you would have people out there saying that.
You know, and the other thing I read, too, was he didn't want to take the vaccine.
Yeah, that's what David just said.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but he did it because on that
Right.
set, that was something that you had to do.
Well, that's
So it
true
was
of
like,
a lot of different people around the country.
Absolutely.
But, man, if
Yeah.
this is true and it was the vaccine, jeez.
Yeah, keep an eye on that one. It's kind of a wild story. All right, that time of the show, going around the table. May not be the biggest story out there, but it caught your attention today. David, what's your story?
Oh, Gretchen Whitmer is in the news. That's the governor of Michigan.
Yeah.
And, well, she has formed a task force, a committee, you could say, to study and address Michigan's population loss. That's what they want to figure out why it is that so many people have left Michigan.
Task force?
Yeah, 28 people.
28 people, just go buy a mirror.
Well, ask us.
Sheep.
I can tell you.
We got $25 a piece. We'll let you know. It's you, dopey. What if it comes back and it is her?
What's the policies?
People just, of course it is.
Wow. Task force.
Yeah.
Remember the fake kidnapping deal, too, that went down with her? And
Yes.
all the nonsense, the golly.
Well, I mean, that told you a lot about the FBI.
Yeah.
What's your story today, Scott?
My story is the federal government, our very federal government, has sent more than $1.3 billion in American tax dollars to China and Russia over the past 5 years. This, according to a brand new report coming out of Open the Books, a group that goes over the budget with a fine-tooth comb. More than $490 million in U.S. contracts and grant money went to researchers in China, while another $870 million ended up in Russia. The use of millions of American tax dollars to fund dubious foreign research earned the Treasury Department the monthly Squeal Award, presented by Joni Ernst. According to the report from Open the Books, $2 million from our federal government went to China's Wuhan Institute of Virology to conduct experiments on bat coronavirus and mice. Another $770,466 went to a Russian lab to study cats on treadmills.
Well,
$750,000 to study cats on treadmills.
Finally, something that you support, Scott.
And Russian cats on treadmills.
If there was a Russian stray cat, would you take it in?
Well,
would you?
Is it going to turn my other two cats commie?
That I don't know. There's a risk, but if not, they're going to off the cat. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, I better take in the Russian cat. Then.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But I would separate it from the other two so they don't get any ideas.
You know what we need a study on? We need a study on what happens after a heart attack, okay, and a near-death experience that gets you so soft to cats. So you kind of liked cats before your heart attacks, but now you're just a full-on cat person.
Well, I have cats, that's why.
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you're a little different now. You're a lot softer.
You got to hear what they say about
endearing.
you. Huh?
What?
I said you got to hear what they say about you.
Those cats?
Yeah.
They're undisciplined. I'm telling you. I got along with your cats last time I was at your place.
You did, yeah.
I really, the one cat of yours is really starved for attention. The little girl cat.
Well, she doesn't really like a lot of attention.
She did to me, but your
male cat,
uncouth male cat, just kept barging in. I'm finally beat it, you loser.
Yeah, that's why
this little kid.
That's why we need a communist cat. Everything is fair.
Yeah, he needs to get put in his place every once in a while.
Okay.
My story today, Al Pacino. This is a follow-up. Al Pacino's going to be a dad again.
Yeah.
He's 83.
What is it with
now,
these guys?
I said it was related to Mick Jagger because this woman, 29-year-old Noor Al-Fala, was with Mick Jagger for a while before Al Pacino.
See, there you go.
Yep.
There you go. Once you're in the club.
What does that mean?
Once the doors open and you get one of these guys, you're in this little club, this little fraternity that you can bounce from guy to guy, and they all got a bunch of money and they're all older.
Are you talking about once you're in the senior citizen rich guy club?
Well, if you're 29 years old and you gain entry into the male senior citizen club, yes.
Well, that's not like getting into the current A-lister in Hollywood right now club. This is more of the, with all respect to Pacino, more of the old downtrodden, isn't it?
Well,
you're taking one for the team there.
Yeah.
It seems.
Well,
unless it's just some sort of thing you have for really older guys.
Are you telling me that it's not love? You know it's actually just about the money, and by money I mean getting in on the early bird special at the Country Kitchen Buffet.
Right, it's got nothing to do with a big fat wallet, no.
She's 29, he's 83.
Yeah, a lot in common, I'm sure.
That's not daddy issues, man. That's great-grandfather issues. Something. I don't know what it is.
Typical
Anyway,
Biden voter.
Man. Al Pacino apparently didn't exactly celebrate when he found out she was pregnant. He's like, oh, hold on. Of course, if it was Pacino, he'd have to yell, hold on!
Or, hoo-ah!
How about a DNA test here?
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Source here from Hollywood said Al did not want more children. And nor even told him she couldn't conceive because of a thyroid problem. That old tale.
Yeah, you're right. The old thyroid acting up again.
Yes.
Yep.
But anyway, the way the story goes, she weaseled her way into Al's life before the pandemic by becoming close to his 22-year-old daughter. Wow.
Gosh, dang.
The relationship was basically over for more than a year when she reestablished contact and got pregnant. Now, they also mentioned in the story Robert De Niro, who just became a dad again, and he's, 79?
Oh, he's 80-something, right? Isn't he? I don't know. I thought he was 80.
You want to bet on it?
No, don't want to bet on it.
Are you going to throw that out there and correct me? You better put 5 on it.
No, I'm not correcting you. I'm just saying.
He's 79.
Thank you. Okay, very good.
I'll add it to the list.
I didn't do anything. Didn't bet.
De Niro feels great. And he also said he's very happy for Pacino. Welcome to the club, pal.
Gosh dang, imagine those two taking the kids to the park.
And do what? Just sit there?
What else they going to do?
I know.
Chase them around?
I know, man. Okay. Taxpayer-funded hospitals in conservative states transing kids. That's the story next. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. Don't know if you're familiar with the America First Legal Foundation.
No.
This group is looking at 5 taxpayer-funded hospitals in Republican-led states that appear to be involved with gender transitions.
Uh-oh.
And that's on taxpayer money. So this is going to be interesting to see. This is Georgia, Iowa, Ohio, Utah, and Virginia. And in the letter, they let the hospitals know that even European countries have moved away from providing gender surgeries on minors. And also puberty blockers.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? So keep an eye on that. You know, we've heard this time and time again. It's all over the United States. And that's absolutely true. So that group is from Stephen Miller. Used to be with the Trump administration. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I'm still wondering to myself, and I do this all the time, but I'm wondering if some of these people that are doing this, do they have insurance? Who's covering this?
Sometimes it is insurance.
I mean, so I have to fight like hell to get a stress test that they don't want to pay for.
After heart attacks.
I've had heart attacks.
Yes.
And if I get Mr. Knish put in a box, they cover it.
Well, so you'd want to keep it if you were going through something like that?
Well, it's a kind of a historical memento.
I'm just going to move on from that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to touch that.
Yeah,
but I'm not a surgeon.
Yeah,
there
right.
You go.
Exactly.
Let's go to this story. This is something, man. High school graduation, Rich Township, Illinois, Cook County, south of Chicago. I don't know if you heard about this or not, but they gave out some plaques, is what I understand. And on those, they misspelled the word graduate.
No, they did not.
Yes, they did. It says graduate.
God damn.
So who you're going to hear here, a couple of the graduates, Jakari Roberts and Yasir Bilal, and a parent talking about being very upset by the mistake. Roll it.
I don't understand how you mess up a whole word. It shouldn't happen like that.
We ain't realize until, we was walking out the gate. They could have checked before because they made, 600 plus So, and all of them were spelled wrong.
We're terribly disappointed and appalled about how they would even pass those out to the students. That would embarrass the community, the families, and even the school district should be embarrassed.
I don't understand what's the problem. I had a great time gertagitating from my big skull.
Oh, man. That kid that just won the spelling bee?
Yeah, right.
Gradutate. See how you spell that one, tough guy.
Your son graduated at 18 years old.
No one checked it?
It's from the Pulic Skyle system.
Well, no one fails and no one can get fired, and that's what you get. This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
Are you ready?
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Making sense of it all.
Now I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. Oh, it feels good. It's Friday. Okay, wow. So the FBI director is going to hand over evidence after all.
That's what we hear. So I guess the threat really worked. So there's been this back and forth over a whistleblower document that the FBI apparently has that alleges a bribery scheme involving Joe Biden while he was vice president. So we'll again, we're waiting to hear more details on that. James Comer, who's been leading the charge on trying to find out all of this, Republican Representative James Comer, told Newsmax yesterday that it is not involving a nation that has been mentioned so far.
Ooh,
so everything
fresh.
in Ukraine, Romania, Russia, China, apparently it's not one of those. And that lends credence to my assumption that he knows exactly what is on this form. He just wants the form itself to back up whatever claim has been made to him in private by a whistleblower. So now the FBI director, Christopher Wray, has agreed to bring a subpoenaed document from the Biden family investigation to Capitol Hill for lawmakers to look at on Monday.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you read the little piece, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I understand some people think she's a nut. Some people think, love what she's all about. But she alluded to, there's a lot more to come, that they have a lot more than they're leading on to right now, which doesn't surprise me at all, if that is, in fact, true. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, keeping an eye on that. Speaking of Biden, Trump was talking about Biden's decline.
Yeah, Donald Trump, during his town hall with Sean Hannity on Fox last night, says, it's not good to make jokes about Joe Biden's obvious mental decline. Sean Hannity said, hey, you seem reluctant to make fun of Joe Biden. Why is that?
Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. I actually called Sean, and I asked Sean not to joke about it.
I was joking
because he used to joke about it. And I said, honestly, I don't think it looks good for you or for anybody for you to joke about it because it's a serious problem.
I was talking about sippy cup and warm milky at night and...
Yeah.
I'll give it to Hannity. Warm milky.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Bedtime stories. Yeah.
So I said, I just don't think it's good for anybody, and, it's not appropriate. You can speak about it if you want, but I don't think you should joke about it, and you really didn't after that.
Well, now I realize how serious it is.
Oh. Oh, you had me with milky, and then you, got down on a knee there, Sean.
Exactly.
I for one.
I can't imagine Donald Trump telling somebody like Tucker Carlson what they should or shouldn't say.
Holy mackerel, is that rich?
On their show, right? I mean, I told you.
Different things that Trump has said about different people.
Right.
Hey, you've gone too far there, Sean.
I told you not to do it, and you stopped.
Yes.
Because of me.
Yes.
Wow, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I kind of understand a little bit where Trump at least is coming from. I think probably because one, when Biden took his little stumble yesterday, fell down at the Air Force Academy graduation ceremony, Trump actually initially sounded like he was concerned about him, and then was like, well, that's not a good look, obviously. and then made a joke about himself walking down the ramp where, he had to hold on to somebody else because he said it was slippery and all that. I think one of the reasons why he's reluctant with this is because it probably really did bother him a lot how much media obsessed over that and the way he drank water.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder how much of it is like, you know what, man, it does suck getting railed like that.
Yeah. I mean, but I can't help but think.
Thank God he has really large ears, the biggest ears I've ever seen.
That was Rubio, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
We could do this for a long time. We don't need to.
I like remembering the good old days.
That's not nice.
Oh, where should I start? Well, the Kasich stuff, that was like all time.
I have never seen a human being eat in such a disgusting fashion.
Yeah, there was that.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I know.
She gained a massive amount of weight. It was a real problem.
Oh, yeah. That was talking about the former Miss America, right?
Yeah, former Miss Universe or whatever.
Miss Universe, yes.
Yeah. And the thing is,
said he called me Miss Eating Machine.
Miss Eating Machine, Miss Piggy.
Right. That's right, Miss Piggy.
But that part, what he said on Fox and Friends all those years ago wasn't even an out of the way, slam. It was an honest assessment that she had to drop some weight because, well, she was the winner of a pageant that he had sponsored.
I will never forget that day. I'll never forget it because there were different times when we would talk about it saying, oh, my goodness, no politician's ever done this. Is this going to be the end of him? And it was like 3 minutes later, we got a call, lady in Portland, who used to be in pageants saying, hey, that's a thing. Yeah, she did gain too much weight.
Right. It's a beauty pageant.
I know. Well, this was
after based on your looks.
It was after she won. It was like months later. She kind of got happy and was, apparently eating quite a bit. And you're supposed to have to stay within a certain weight. And I remember I would beg you to do the accent, David, and you felt bad and wouldn't want to do it. And now I'm happy to say you've got no problem.
The gloves are off. I don't care anymore. She was Miss Piggy, Miss Eating Machine. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
She would not be my first choice, that I can tell.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and that's not even to get into the Romney stuff. That's on a whole different scale, too.
Oh, yeah, he didn't like Mitt at all, no.
I'm trying to remember it. There's all this audio.
The Mitt Romney stuff?
Over time. Oh, my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
Well, Mitt was,
Well, Mitt is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once a choker, always a choker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he walks like a penguin.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. He did that bit about Romney walking like a penguin. That's right. Oh, my goodness. Penguin from Batman. Yes.
I want to give you my solemn word that there will be no mudslinging in this campaign.
Right. Of course. Okay.
If he would have called Miss Universe walks like a penguin, he walked like, how would it have been, David?
Yeah.
How would she have said it? I walk like a penguin.
He walks like a penguin.
Pocahontas.
Oh, yeah. There's all that.
All-timer.
I got to move on. We got other stories to get to.
I call her Goofy.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No, Goofy.
Yeah, I know. Okay. There's a Target insider. This was from Fox, saying that the rank-and-file staffers feel left behind by the executives that didn't have their best interest in mind. What happened to just a company is there to make money and sell goods? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I get where this person that is now, talking to different press, saying, our teams feel left behind. The vast majority of our team feels like decisions are being made that impact them. It doesn't matter which side you're on. You now feel like people are making decisions without our best interest, meaning the workers at Target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They take the brunt of it, and they had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I
I get that, but if they decide that, you know what, oh my gosh, we got to retreat here. We've got to take this display down, or we've got to move it.
Yeah.
And now you're afraid, well, you don't have our best interest in mind. Hey, man, we're trying to save this thing. I mean, Target, dude, again, you have to try to stop figuring out why they would do it to begin with, because it doesn't make sense. And you come back to it's all the DEI stuff, and it's about, credit scores to the woke mafia, that basically run the world. And as long as the CEO of the company scores there, they always have a job, and sometimes there's bonuses tied to that. It's not how well the actual company does. But yeah, there are workers inside Target that are ticked. Some people have just flat out quit. It's like it's not worth it.
A responsibility to shareholders. I mean, if you're just I own 50 shares of stock in a company or whatever, and they pull this kind of nonsense.
But isn't it your understanding those days are over to a large degree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not all about the shareholders anymore. It's about people above them. And then you're getting into BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street and all that stuff. I don't know, man.
I wonder if Bud Light had to do all over again, they would have done the same thing. I doubt it.
Oh, I don't think they would have.
I don't either.
No.
I mean,
but they just donated another $200,000.
I know.
To LGBTQ stuff.
Very quietly.
Oh, as quiet as they could put it. Speaking of that, Major League Baseball. Go ahead, say it, David.
Well, Major League Baseball hates you, Scott.
I know.
It hates your God.
Yes.
It hates your family.
Yeah.
It hates your value system, your worldview. It hates you personally, Scott Robbins. Every
Even though
day,
you've
Rob
given
Manfred,
to it for years.
I know.
Every day, Rob Manfred, the MLB commissioner, wakes up and says, how can I prove that I hate Scott Robbins even more than I did yesterday? That's what he does. Okay?
Battered fan syndrome.
Yeah. Major League Baseball turned some heads today, though, because they abruptly changed their Facebook profile picture from the Pride logo version to the generic MLB logo. And some people were saying, or making the assumption at least, that this had something to do with the backlash with the Dodgers and whatnot, bringing in an anti-Catholic hate group to be celebrated on Pride Night and whatnot. I'm not so sure it has anything to do with the backlash. It's Lou Gehrig Day. They actually changed the logo again this morning to reflect that. So,
yeah.
I don't. We'll see what it looks like over the weekend, but
yeah, I would imagine all the activists were up in arms.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, I do know that you're hearing more and more players speak out specifically about the Pride Night thing with the Dodgers, because that one, I don't think anybody really cares if it's hey, we're going to have a Pride Night or whatever that means. A lot of people don't really care that much about it. But once you start bringing in the freak show groups that make a mockery of one of the largest religions in America, that winds up just crossing a line, obviously.
It does. And I think it was also the tipping point, because a lot of people felt like, okay, whether it's Major League Baseball, whatever sports group, you're pandering to an embarrassing level already.
Yeah.
But then it went to this other level, especially with the T part of the alphabet mafia. And people have had it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm tired of all of it. And so then you see the Pride logo on Major League Baseball. You're like, really? And people are just sick to death of it. And they have nothing against gay people.
Yeah.
And that's where the left gets it so wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, they just hate gay people. No, they don't. They have friends, family. I mean, they love people. But they're tired of this agenda being jammed down their throat. And, yeah, had enough. Okay, speaking of the Dodgers, in California, there's a homeless problem. You know that. Do you want to guess how much California has spent, money-wise, on homelessness in the last few years?
Well, it solved it, though. That's the great thing.
It's a bigger problem than ever. When you hear the amount of money that's been spent, it's jaw-dropping. That and much more coming up. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. Okay. California has spent a lot of money on homelessness over the last few years. Mm-hmm. A huge problem. San Francisco, Oakland, L.A., it goes on. San Diego, too.
Sure.
Really down the coast. You know how much money they've spent in just the last few years?
The state?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Last few years.
Yes.
1.3 billion.
David?
I'll go 1.301 billion. Price
17 billion.
17 billion?
17 billion. That's what got my
Holy
attention to the headline.
smokes.
California spent 17 billion on homelessness. Of course, it's not working.
Golly.
And you can read the entire story. A lot of it, when you read it, it's obvious sorts of things that it doesn't work. And the more money you put toward making people comfortable, it invites other people to join them.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of us have given money to different shelters that are trying to help people that don't want to be homeless. Okay. Some people that are homeless, they don't want to go to those shelters because they might have some belongings that they can't take with them.
Right.
Okay. You're homeless. Someone's offering you a place and food.
Yeah.
And if you're lacking education, you're lacking certain things, they will help you to get out of that situation. What, at least in my opinion, a lot of people don't talk about, there's a whole lot of people there that don't want that because they want the situation they're in. That sounds crazy. But when you've watched different interviews with people that are homeless, they don't want to change the lifestyle.
No.
So you got to find the ones that do, and with the rest, you can't keep throwing money at the problem. It doesn't work. But you know what? One thing in this story that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about was that Newsom in certain cities was threatening to withhold funding because he didn't think the, local officials were doing enough about the problem of breaking up the camps. Because some people think that breaking up the camps is something you just can't do.
Yeah.
That it's inhumane. So what are businesses supposed to do?
Exactly.
Yeah, what are people who are actually contributing to society
Yes.
supposed to do about
Yes.
that situation? It sounds harsh, but that's cold, hard truth. I mean, there are people who are giving back, and it doesn't apply to everybody who finds himself out on the street. But the remarkable thing is that the people who do want to change their situation, a lot of times can.
Yes, we've heard, I don't know how many stories over the years. It's like remarkable stories.
And a lot of the activists want to say the unhoused are all, men, women, and children down on their luck. No, in those situations, if you lost a job, you had a catastrophic illness or something like that, and you wound up on the street because you couldn't make rent, you couldn't pay your mortgage, whatever, that's a horrible situation. That's a tough situation.
Yep.
But you can get out of it. It's possible to get out of it. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of groups that can help you do it.
Agree.
That's not the source of the homeless crisis, though. The source is drug addiction and people wanting to live in that situation.
Yeah, and mental illness. You've said it before, Robbins. All those hospitals that closed.
Yeah.
Better open them.
Yep.
There's a great point to that. This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins show. Okay, David, biggest story of the day.
There are a few, of course. Yeah, the debt limit, whatever, bill got passed through the Senate last night. It heads to Biden's desk, and every indication is he will sign it. Also, the FBI director is going to be handing over evidence about a bribery allegation against Joe Biden on Monday, evidently. He has caved, facing a contempt of Congress charge. He has said, okay, I'll play ball with this, so we'll see. Trump doing his town hall, saying, hey, you shouldn't make fun of Joe Biden and his mental decline, because it's very serious, you see.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you've wondered why the full court press now with the Alphabet Mafia, a big clue we will get to coming up. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins show. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jamie Markley, the Gen Xer, David Van Camp, the Millennial, and this sexy boomer, Scott Robbins. Okay, so we mentioned earlier Elon Musk responded to Twitter restricting the Daily Wire movie, What is a Woman? Because they had a deal worked up that they were going to be able to use the Twitter platform. And then all of a sudden, the Twitter pulled out of it. And I don't know if Elon Musk at that time was not aware what was happening. But then he got involved later and said some people at Twitter made a mistake.
Yeah.
Because for a while, if you were on Twitter and you wanted to share the Matt Walsh documentary, What is a Woman?, that is controversial, I guess, to some people.
Yeah.
Well, I forget the exact wording of what the warning they put up was.
It was harmful, basically harmful content.
Yes. But then Elon Musk, shared it himself. Now, how many followers does he have? It's millions.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then other people were able to share it. And then it's sort of like an unfolding story as we're going along. But it was the 1-year anniversary of the Matt Walsh documentary. And I thought it was really well done. I did not realize it was the #1 movie watched at home last year, according to Rotten Tomatoes.
The #1 movie watched at home?
Yes.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Had you heard that, David?
I had not heard that.
That's stunning.
That blew me away.
Considering you can watch just about everything at home now.
Yes.
Wow.
But people had shared it and said, man, this is really worth watching.
Man.
Well, that was the one thing that Elon Musk tweeted when he shared the movie. All parents should see this.
Yeah. What's remarkable about this?
What?
To me, that stat, I mean, I had not heard that, but remember the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez documentary that came out? I think it was last year. And it had a couple of screenings, and basically a couple dozen people showed up. It was not a lot. Yeah. And nobody watched the movie. Nobody cared. Think about how much news coverage AOC gets from national media and how she is looked to as like the future of liberal politics and this great influencer. And she couldn't pack an art house cinema. Whereas apparently this ultra controversial podcaster, media host, and now filmmaker, and children's author, Matt Walsh, can get, I think it's at 20 million views, maybe more than that at this point on Twitter, plus all the downloads, all the views last year when that documentary first came out. And media does not talk about him. Will not talk about it.
It's fascinating. And we know why. They don't want to alert more people to it. But it's fascinating. Matt Taibbi wrote about that on his Substack. Was saying some of the same things, which was really interesting. He mentioned this. This was from Taibbi. I wrote about What is a Woman a year ago after noticing it was driving huge online traffic and was much talked about across media in both positive and negative ways. But as you said, David, was non-covered as if by universal agreement.
Yeah.
The subject matter was so taboo, people were afraid to mention it, even to denounce it. Which is true. The movie ended up ranked as Rotten Tomatoes' #1 most watched film at home. Downloaded in 70 countries, but garnered virtually 0 mainstream reviews. Going to show you how out of touch reviewers are. Really interesting, man. The Taibbi piece is really good, too. Because he also mentioned the situation that Elon Musk is in right now as the CEO of Twitter. And he wrote, as someone who rooted for the new Twitter to succeed and hoped it would be able to resist the pressure to clamp down that overwhelmed previous owners, this development raised eyebrows of what happened, 24 hours ago with this whole thing in Twitter. And he said 20 days ago, news broke that former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, the highest-rated anchor on cable, would be moving to Twitter. Carlson in the past year hosted Walsh and or cited What is a Woman multiple times and even showed clips of the movie on Fox, raising an obvious question. What's going to happen if and when this subject comes up on a hypothetical future Carlson broadcast on Twitter? Mm-hmm. Will it get flagged?
All right.
And yes, you wonder that. He said it's possible the most defiant CEO of a platform like Twitter could quickly be forced to choose between free speech and survival. The reach of the anti-disinformation complex is such that the loss of a potential multi-million-dollar advertiser like the Daily Wire is a pittance compared to regulatory issues, corporate boycotts, and other nightmares that can be thrown at a platform that bucks on content. Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll see how all that shakes out. David, you mentioned there were some protesters at a DeSantis event yesterday. You wanted to get to the story.
This is one of my favorite stories of the day, honestly. So the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, running for president. He's in South Carolina. making multiple campaign stops. At one stop, there were like 6 old white ladies protesting.
Okay.
And, basically just picture in your mind bitter, lonely, older, liberal woman. And you will absolutely understand who I'm talking about here. They were wearing Mickey Mouse hats because cool. And, of course, news media had to talk to them. It's like 6 women, and news media is like, tell us why you're here to protest to Satan.
Want the rest of South Carolina and the nation to know that everyone doesn't think that little boys' penises are being cut off and attached to little girls. This is nonsense that DeSantis and his ilk come up with.
Nobody believes that there's like wean transplants going on here.
No, DeSantis said it. What's happening is they're whacking it off the boys and then gluing it on the girls.
Nobody's saying that.
No, of course no one's saying that. Where did she get that?
I have no idea. I just think it's funny, though, that they're protesting something they actually don't understand.
Stand.
Yeah. Nobody is saying that. It's not, you don't... You don't go to one of these gender clinics and they don't have a bunch of jars of old penises that they're going to attach to young girls. That,
my goodness.
Nobody believes that.
Be an organ donor. Save a life.
I wouldn't have. All right, I've got a different
I wouldn't have
question.
had a penis if Clarence hadn't died and he sacrificed. His penis will be with me forever.
I've got to ask a different kind of question. We all know as a parent you have a responsibility to your kids, and you should teach your kids right from wrong, right? Are we now looking at an era where, as a kid, you have a responsibility to your parents so that this doesn't happen?
Well,
so that if you have a parent that thinks
To
this...
know that everyone doesn't think that little boys' penises are being cut off and attached to little girls.
Okay, if that's your mom, you're a bad kid.
Yeah.
Right? Someone's got to clue this moron in.
Kids, do you know where your bitter old liberal mother is? Oh, my gosh.
This is what happens when you watch The View, okay?
It is, and CNN.
Yes.
This reminds me, I went to the San Marcos gun show in Texas last weekend, and I had heard that there was going to be some sort of protest because people don't have enough to do with their spare time. And evidently, I missed it, but there was one somewhere around the property. It's at this convention center attached to a hotel, and it lasted about 20 minutes. And one of the guys that was there was telling me about it. I said, hey, I heard there was going to be a protest. Y'all have any trouble? And he goes, oh, no. He goes, there's maybe a dozen older women screaming at people, and then also their embarrassed-looking husbands a few feet away. And then after about 20 minutes, they got in their cars, and the husbands drove them back to Austin. And he said, I guess it makes sense. They can't trust themselves to drive a half hour from Austin. No wonder they can't understand someone owning a gun. I mean, just brutal.
All right, I mentioned the whole alphabet mafia. It seems like a full court press going on right now. There's a clue to that. We'll get to that in a few. I want to switch to a different story here. That, David, I know you and I plan on getting to. We might as well just get this done right here. I don't know that Scott knows this yet. You're sitting down, so I guess you're ready for this. There's someone that's very close to quitting music right now, Scott.
Really?
And we wanted to tell you. It's Lizzo. Okay?
No.
Yeah, you know why?
Please tell me you're kidding.
She's so tired of the negative comments about her body. She is threatening to quit music.
Freaking victims just everywhere.
Okay.
Well, then quit music. Then do it. Do it.
All right. I'm trying to understand this, David, and maybe I understand it wrong. Part of the reason Lizzo got recognized was, from all appearances, not my style of music, but she's a decent singer and her songs are catchy enough.
Yeah.
Okay. But part of the appeal and the reason people were getting, behind her because she was a body positivity person.
Yeah, she was a sassy fat lady. Yeah.
And she didn't care. She would put a thong on anyway, even though, by medical standards, she's obese. or whatever the term is.
Morbidly obese. Yeah.
Okay. But she would still twerk and do all that stuff, and that got attention, and that helped her become a big star. Sorry, star. Anyway, now she's saying, and it's gone back and forth, because anytime it seemed like she, I don't know, lost a couple pounds, then part of the fan base would get ticked off. And then she'd say, I'm not trying to lose weight. And then, why are you focusing on my body? Well, I don't know. Look at your videos. Isn't that part of the whole shtick?
Well, yeah. She's the one who posted the photo of her climbing onto a private aircraft wearing a thong. And I felt so sad for the person who had to clean up after that.
Anyway, she said, I just logged on to whatever social media app, and I've got to see this type of whatever. It's on a daily basis. It's really making me hate the world. Okay. And then she said, someone in the comments said, I eat lots of fast food. I literally stopped eating fast food years ago. I'm tired of explaining myself all the time. I just want to get on this app without seeing my name in some bull bleep. Okay? She's just thinking about taking her money and enjoying it with her man on a bleeping farm.
Okay.
Go.
Great, do it.
Yeah, she said, I swear I just want to look at dance videos and science news, and this bleep comes in every day. She said, I'm not trying to be fat, and I'm not trying to be smaller. I'm literally just trying to live and be healthy. This is what my body looks like, even when I'm eating super clean and working out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know about that one.
I don't buy that one. No.
I don't think so. Y'all speak bleep. Y'all know nothing about, and I'm starting to get heated. So I just wanted to warn you, Scott. One of your heroes may be quitting music.
No. I'm glad I got original copies of her albums now.
Yeah.
Isn't that like on the opposite end of the spectrum, but the same basic mentality behind like a woman walking down the street wearing basically a glorified bra and then complaining, guys, my eyes are up here.
You're the woman at the gym?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been this way forever. I think we probably did this conversation on the air 20 years ago, 30 years ago. There are certain women, they want people to look. It's just certain people.
Yeah.
That they might be attracted to. They don't want some guy 20 years older looking. In a lot of cases.
My idea for a brand of male support wear to highlight testicle cleavage never caught on, unfortunately.
Because no one wants to see that.
No one wants to see that.
The guy 20 years older needs to see it.
This is why we can't have nice things. Okay. A fascinating piece of audio about the Alphabet Mafia next. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. All right, I'll try to explain this quick. The Alphabet Mafia. This month, you're going to hear a lot about it, obviously. And you're like, why? It's crazy all over the place, right? This video has made the rounds. Beth Brooke Marciniak. May not know who that is. She's the global vice chair of public policy for Ernst & Young. Okay, global sponsor for diversity and inclusiveness. This clip is from the, what is it called? BSR conference. BSR is Sustainable Business Network and consultancy focusing on creating a world in which all people can thrive. All right. And so she is telling the story then, and this is about the World Economic Forum, how they get involved with PGLE, the Partnership for Global LGBTI Equality. All right? Listen to this.
Biden.
And she says Biden.
Biden met privately with those of us working behind the scenes, and he sat down with us and looked us in the eye, and he said, you companies can do what we government cannot.
Why don't you tell the audience about PGLE? What does it do? Why is it important? And we would love to have more companies join in.
But this story about Davos and the handful of us that found each other. So the PGLE, Partnership for Global LGBTI Equality, this is a group that was formed in collaboration with the World Economic Forum after 5 or 6 years of working behind the scenes with senior leaders at just a handful of companies. This organization was founded in January of 2019. Can you believe that? The World Economic Forum just agreed to do it this January. So they're in collaboration with them. We can use their channels of distribution, their brand. They're now in the mainstream, on the main stage in Davos and into the mainstream of the programming at the World Economic Forum.
So there you go. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing so heavily right now. Because they control it all.
You ever just feel like, well, nothing I can do. I'm just going to sit here.
No. Did the Bud Light thing work?
It did. Well,
Target?
So far.
Yeah.
But some people tell me I don't care. It doesn't matter if they make money or not. It doesn't matter if they lose money or not.
In the end, it will.
Yeah. That's what I keep thinking. But
yes. In the end, it will.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. All right, we got to get set up for the big Friday 5. All right, David, what are we doing today?
I don't know if you knew about this, but tomorrow is National Repeat Day.
Say that again?
It's National Repeat Day.
Got it.
Yeah, which apparently is where you do two things or something you like a lot twice. So I thought, why not do songs that have a repeated word in the title?
Repeated word in the title. We've never done this list before.
No. Wow.
Some great songs, too.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you got something want to get in early, the number's 210-619-2053. It's the Friday 5, and we'll kick it off next.
Are you ready?
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Making sense of it all.
Now I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
All right. Well, the fun never stops. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. I'm Jamie Markley. That's David Van Camp. There's Scott Robbins. It's Friday. That means the Friday 5.
The countdown is on.
You know what this means?
It's our favorite time of the week.
Everybody wants to get mellow. You can get the out of here, all right?
The Friday 5.
It will test your head and your mind and your brain.
On the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
The Friday 5, the countdown we do every week. Take a little break from the news. Have some fun. Life should be enjoyed now and again, huh? Okay, for today, David, we're celebrating a holiday, and that holiday is?
It is National Repeat Day tomorrow. So that's where if you like something, if you like doing something, then do it twice. If you like to have pizza, then have pizza lunch and dinner. Maybe you haven't watched a show in a while, and you really like, if you like Seinfeld, you haven't seen it, maybe go back and watch it from the first episode on.
Got it. In the immortal words of Gene Simmons, worth a deuce, right?
Exactly.
You know your man is working hard.
So, songs that repeat the same word twice. We took some time to come up with this. We've never done it before, which frightens me a little because I'm getting the feeling we're going to get a few calls of songs that we forgot.
I totally booted one. Totally.
You know, this is a nice thing because David was texting last night. Here's 2 we forgot. But those 2 wouldn't have made my 5 anyway.
The one I'm thinking of doesn't make my 5 either, but it would be worthy of an honorable mention.
Okay.
It was the song you played.
210-619-2053 is the number. Who's up first, David?
Let's talk to Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa.
Yes, hello.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hi. I just saw this guy in concert about 3 weeks ago, and he is a rock star. Billy Idol, Moni Moni.
Yeah.
Good call.
Number 4.
Okay, Tommy James had the hit with that in the 60s, and then Billy Idol brings it back in the 80s. And then it was played everywhere. People would get up and dance.
Yeah.
Wedding receptions, bars, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a chant, of course. I bet Billy Idol was a fun show to see.
Well, he's got enough hit records to sustain a show, yeah.
A lot of songs you forget he had.
Yeah, I mean,
Steve Stevens, great guitar player. That would be fun. Yeah, good call. Thank you, Vanessa.
I got a real Casey moment here, but Tommy James was in a hotel, and he saw on a billboard MONY, which was a bank or a lending institution at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought it was kind of clever the way MONY was money. And he just sort of turned to Moni and became Moni, and there you go.
Now, on with the countdown.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you, Casey.
Who's next, David?
Good one. Let's talk to Mary. Hey, Mary.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Mary. Are you feeling number one today?
Probably not number one. I do have a real old one in mind. I'm interested to see if you guys will get that one. But the one I'm going to go with is Girls, Girls, Girls by Motley Crue.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3.
Did you play that one at Top 40, Scott?
Yep.
All right. You got some guitars on your Top 40 back in the 80s.
There were a few.
Yes.
Motley was one of them.
If I remember, didn't that come out? It was the same month. Girls, 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 and the Joshua Tree from U2.
I believe, yeah.
Because I worked at a music land when those came out. Yeah, they were flying off the shelves at the time.
Yes.
Yes. Now, on with the countdown, David.
Let's talk to Brian. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Aloha Friday, gentlemen.
Aloha, Brian. Thanks for checking in, man.
Hey, I was glad to get in. Thanks for having me. I thought long and hard about this, and I'm surprised that Joe Biden hasn't, had a mind melt and said, Dorfman, I thought long and hard about this. Your Delta Thai name is Flounder during one of his speeches. Not since the biggest mole in rock and roll did a revamp of this. I was shocked that this wasn't taken before I called in. I'm going to go with the Kingsman, Louie Louie.
Oh, buddy.
Number 1.
Walk it off.
The Kingsman, Portland, Oregon.
That was funny. We were playing this yesterday, and you were talking about hanging with the Kingsmen.
That was years ago. That's because they used to do Louie Louie festivals all across the country, and they were playing
things like, I'm on the bus smoking weed with Tommy Chong. Okay. I was hanging with the Kingsmen. Oh, that's weird.
It's quite a career.
Yeah, it is.
To be honest.
It's a book.
That's a story for another time.
Yep.
Okay, on with the countdown, David. Who's next?
Let's talk to Mary. Hey, Mary.
Hey, guys.
Mary, what's up?
Hey, I have not been able to get through for so long. It's so good to talk to you guys again.
Good to talk to you, too.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't think of any real great rocker songs off the top of my head, but one old one came to mind that was always a good old classic back in the day. How about Monday, Monday, Mamas and the Papas?
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Monday, Monday, so good to me.
Scott, you said oldies stations still play that, right?
Monday morning, it was all I hoped it would be.
By the way, side note, Mamas and Papas, California Dreamin'. Anybody like that song?
Yeah, I do.
Bums me out, man.
It's so sad, dude. I love that song, but it's just a downer. Yeah, that one, not so much of a downer. All right, we're still looking for number 2 and number 5. And there's so many great honorable mentions. Again, it's songs that have the same word at least twice in the title.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's next, David?
Having a little issue with my computer here. We'll just I'm going to say line 2. That probably doesn't mean anything, but if you heard a little, you're on the air. Hey.
Yeah, hi. How about Tasting the Sunshine Band? Shake, shake, shake your boot.
And who's this calling?
This is Lon.
Lon. Well done, dude. Yes.
Number 5.
Hey.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
Now, would you call that a guilty pleasure if you like it? Because I don't feel guilty about it at all.
No, you don't have to feel guilty about it.
No.
Thank you, David. Scott tried to make me feel guilty yesterday.
Well, I always feel like if I come up with a song like this, you're going to mock me for it. And then you came up with it yesterday. I'm like, you like this song?
It's fun.
I know.
Yeah. What? I don't mock you for fun songs. I mock you for lame songs. There's a difference.
I'm surprised there wasn't a cover version from Accept or something that you liked it better.
I think it was White Lion, actually.
Yeah, that was it.
No, hold on. There's a huge difference between Accept and White Lion here, okay? Please. All right, who's next?
Let's talk to Johnny. Hey, Johnny.
Happy Friday, brothers.
Johnny, it's always a great day when you check in, man.
Oh, yeah. Stepping into Slim Jims right now, man. Hardcore.
Excellent.
All right, how you guys doing, man?
Doing great, man.
You know, it was a struggle trying to find a song to give you guys. It seemed like I had like 5 great ones, but you didn't have them on your list. So I finally got around and got one, though, because, you know, that's how the man does it. I keep it real, and I keep it going strong, all right? I'm going to go with, hopefully it is Joe Biden's theme song here in 2024, okay? We're going to go, nah, nah, hey, hey, kiss him goodbye.
There you
Number
go,
2. Great setup, Johnny.
It's an iconic song, definitely stands the test of time. I like the song.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the last time I heard the whole song. I just hear it when a team loses.
Yeah.
Basically, that's the chant, and it's been kept around forever.
Another Casey Kasem moment. This was the B-side of the first 45 they sent out, and some DJ flipped it and started playing this, and it became the big hit.
Wow.
Now, on with the countdown.
The Casey coming in with the facts.
There you
Nice
go.
job,
That's
Robbins. Yes. I wonder how much money they made off of that.
The writer? Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Boatloads.
All right,
Still does.
Who's next?
Let's talk to Mark. Hey, Mark.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
You too, Mark. What you thinking?
Hey, I got a song for you. How about 38 Special, Teacher, Teacher?
Yes. From the movie. You like that one, Robin?
Yeah, I like it, okay.
Played that at top 40.
Yep.
Not exactly one of the tested timers for 38 Special.
No. I think they cut it from the set list.
Did they?
Yeah, I was there. I just saw them a few years ago. I never recall them doing it, no.
Always solid live.
Yeah, oh yeah.
A lot of fun. And you forget how many songs that band had, too.
A lot of hits.
No doubt about it. Okay. One more? You got time for one, David?
I think we got time for one more, sure.
Okay.
Let's talk to John. Hey, John.
Hello, how you doing?
Great, John.
Awesome. So, first of all, I got a comment. I heard you guys talk about Accept a little bit ago, which I feel is one of the most underrated bands there ever was, especially with Wolf Hoffman. That guy's been doing it for so long. I love that band, one of my favorites ever. But anyway, I've got, how about...
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on, John. Robbins is rolling his eyes right now.
I just forgot about the fabulous career of Wolf Hoffman.
Wolf Hoffman was a great guitar player.
I did. Sorry.
You know, Dirk Schneider, I saw him 3 times.
I know you did.
Opening for Maiden, opening for Dio. It was awesome. Anyway, go ahead, John. Don't let Robbins ruin our moment.
They're still rocking to this day. They're fantastic. Even without Udo, fantastic.
I've said
I
that
can't
too.
even believe how good they are. And in fact, Wolf Hoffman has put out his own classical album. Fantastic. But anyway, let's go back to the topic here. How about Hot, Hot, Hot by Dexter Poindexter?
Yes, well done.
That's one hell of a transition, right? Extolling the virtues of Accept.
Yes.
Into Buster Poindexter.
You try to put us metalheads into a box, though. All we know is nothing but metal. Goodness gracious.
Wow.
No one puts John in a box. I'm not going to allow it. I love the Accept talk on here. That was a lot of fun.
The only talk show in America where Accept is still relevant. Markley, Van Camp.
It is one of our bumpers, you know.
I know.
That's never going to die. Okay. Songs that have the same word repeated twice. That's the Friday 5. And again, the number's 210-619-2053, and we'll wrap it up next right here. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. Sorry, we got a news update to get to in the Robbins Trifecta, but we got to finish up the Friday 5. Special countdown today for, what is it, repeat day tomorrow?
Yep.
Songs that have the same word at least twice in the title. There's your number one, Louie Louie from the Kingsmen. Nah, 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 hey, hey, goodbye, Steve at 2. Girls, 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 Motley Crue at 3. Moni, Moni, Billy Idol at 4. Also Tommy James. Casey and the Sunshine Band, Shake, 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 Shake Your Booty, which Robbins tried to make me feel bad about because I like that song.
Remember the Frank Zappa album, Chic Your Booty?
I don't, actually.
Yeah, he had a chic, looked like a chic on the cover.
There were a couple of songs that you had that you said big songs, didn't quite make it for you, but you liked them.
Yeah.
We could feature those if you wish.
I didn't say that about the song. I never said that.
You did say it was a big song.
I said it was a big song, yeah.
Yes.
I never said I liked it.
You're like, man, that was huge.
It was huge.
You liked it.
I didn't say I liked it. I said it was a big song.
You did like it at the time.
That's not what I said.
You said it was pop perfection.
I have never used the term pop perfection in my life.
Oh, no, now that's fake news. I don't know about the NSYNC thing.
I didn't with NSYNC.
But, yeah, you did call Taylor Swift Shake It Off.
That was
perfection.
It is.
Yeah. You have used that term before, that's all.
Okay, maybe I have, but I didn't use it with that song.
Okay.
Golly.
And that was the other one you talked about.
Number one song.
I'm not guilting you about it. I'm just saying you had these two on your
of course not. No, you're not drawing a big red circle around it. Of course not.
No, why?
Why would you do that?
I could play you another one that I had that didn't quite make it.
Here we go.
If you what?
Okay, go ahead.
Well, there were a couple. Okay, I'll give you this. I remembered this song. Of course, as I remembered, I said you played this on the crap, didn't you? The top 40, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Thompson Twins. All right, who's next, David?
Let's talk to Uncle Schultze. Hey, Uncle Schultze.
You know, gentlemen, in light of events from yesterday, I've decided that when I come strolling out of the local tavern, do a face plant in the parking lot, and I'm picking gravel out of my forehead, I'll just blame a sandbag somebody just happened to leave in the doorway. How about that?
Yeah, and if that fails, just say you've struggled with a stutter your whole life.
Exactly.
Yeah, no one not done it. The history books will note it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anywho, I'm going to go with Rebel Rebel by David Bowie.
Oh, yeah. I was sort of surprised because we looked this up as far as the hit factor, David.
Yeah, wasn't really much of a hit in the United States.
But kind of iconic at classic rock.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Just didn't quite make it. All right, who's next?
Let's talk to Brian. Hey, Brian.
Brian.
Yeah.
Hello, Brian.
Hey, guys. Happy weekend.
Yeah.
We made it.
Yes.
Yeah. My choice is only because I was jamming to it earlier, and I love classic rock, so I had to go old school with some UFO and Dr. Doctor.
Oh, yeah. That might be a nice reminder to crank the UFO this weekend.
Good stuff.
It is. Okay, we got time for one more?
Yeah, let's talk to Christine. Hey, Christine.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, hi, Christine.
I actually have two songs.
Okay.
First one would be Cherry Cherry by Neil Diamond.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
She got the way to move me, Cherry. She got the way to move me.
That's fun.
She got the way to move me.
All right, you're 1 for 1. What's the other one?
What's the other one?
Oh, she's gone.
Oh,
we'll never know.
Oh, man. In my mind, it would be...
But what is and what shouldn't be?
Led Zeppelin. What is and what could never be? Good call on that one, David. That's nice. This is the Markley, Van Camp and Robbins Show. I could keep doing that all day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's the biggest story of the day, David?
Biggest story of the day, there were a few pop-in. Of course, the Senate passed the debt ceiling bill, and you knew there wasn't going we talked about it yesterday. There was going to be absolutely no drama around this because Democrats controlled the Senate.
Yeah.
So you were not at all ever at risk of having the drama like you had in the House of Representatives. That, That's just how it works, unfortunately.
Yes.
So there's that. Trump did a town hall with Sean Hannity last night. Made a little bit of news, I would say.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Hey, what can I do? That's sorry. Had to get the Zep in there, man. All right, we'll get all the news updates in the Robbins trifecta. It's all coming up. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. Okay, before the trifecta with Scott Robbins, news update, David Van Camp.
Well, I thought this was pretty interesting. Donald Trump did his town hall on Fox News last night with Sean Hannity and was asked to assess the primary field as it's shaping up right now. So what is it, like 9 people so far running for the Republican nomination?
Yes. Well, this will be interesting. I haven't heard this yet.
I don't think it matters. I don't know why people are doing it. They're at 1%. Some are at 0. I hear Chris Christie's coming in. He was at 6% in New Jersey, which is, I love New Jersey, but 6% approval rating in New Jersey. What's the purpose? And he's polling at 0, and others are.
Well, you know, it's like we were talking about yesterday. They're jockeying for some sort of position, or there's a specific person. There's no way Chris Christie thinks he has a chance.
No,
is there?
I don't believe that.
Okay, all right. That's pretty funny, though.
I call him Ada Hutchinson. I don't call him Asa. I call him Ada Hutchinson. I gave him a little name for some reason, for certain reasons. But this guy, nobody knows who the hell he is. Never good. And some, it's fine, but I don't understand what they're doing. Now, maybe there's something wrong, but when you're at 1% or less, 1%, it says 1% with an arrow pointing left. There's one guy who's at 0 with an arrow pointing left. That means he's at less than 0. So it is what it is. I really go after the one who's second, and I think the one who's second is going down so much and so rapidly that I don't think he's going to be second that much longer. I think he's going to be third or fourth.
Mm. I tend to think Ron DeSantis will stay second.
Oh, yeah.
If not overtake Donald Trump. I mean, that's still the open question, but Mike Pence is going to suddenly start polling better than Ron DeSantis? I don't see that happening.
No, I don't either.
Some weird Ada joke I'm not aware of?
I don't know. I lost sleep trying to figure out that joke, honestly.
I don't know that one.
I can only guess, but I don't know. Not
Does
sure.
She look like an old woman who knits?
What might be interesting in a debate, Vivek Ramaswamy. He seems like he would be a very good debater because he is so smart on so many different things. That's a skill, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he can go off script, no problem, and rattle off a lot of different facts. You check into it, he's like, yeah, that guy's absolutely right. I'm not saying he's going to own Trump in a debate at all, but that will be an interesting back and forth if he happens to go after him at all. I don't know, man. Okay. Sometimes people are just looking for pieces of good news, like they haven't lost their mind. And when I saw this, I'm like, okay, this is pretty good news for people. By a 3-1 margin, people do believe that there are 2 genders. So that's a victory right now.
Oh, there you go. That's sad that that's a victory, but I'm happy nonetheless.
Well, I think sometimes when you're just looking either at social media or at news, you can kind of get sucked into a false perception of the world. And sometimes that world seems a lot worse than it actually is. Sometimes we talk about that when it comes to race relations. Seems like everyone's at each other's throats until you go out and live your life, and you're like, well, people get along all the time. But yeah, it was by a 3-1 margin. And, as far as the whole trans thing, for the LGBTQ plus group, it's not trending in the way they would like. Because most people are totally against, especially kids, getting any sort of reassignment surgery or puberty blockers or, any of that stuff. And I mean, I don't think the pressure is going to go away anytime soon because you got so many corporations involved. There's so much money involved that I don't think it will go away. But I think that's going to be a tougher sell on people than some of the other things that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I think so.
But we'll see. All right, Robbins, you ready for your big three?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, is this going to be uplifting today, or is this...
I don't know.
Okay.
Are you ready?
1, 2, buckle my shoe on.
It's the 3 most important news stories of the day.
I hit the trifecta.
Well, at least according to Scott Robbins. It's the trifecta on the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
Every day around this time, Scott Robbins trifecta. His top 3 stories of the day, always helped by his hero.
Hi, it's me, Casey.
Hey, buddy, what's going on? Looking forward to seeing you this weekend. You coming by? Huh?
Got you.
I know you got
I'm
me,
ready.
but you never do.
3.
Number 3, I didn't understand the headline. All I will say is that it involves pubic hair art.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You know, you uptight conservative parents out there, try to get it through your reactionary tiny little skulls. Nobody is trying to sexualize your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not in our world-class education system, as we know. Consider the latest moral panic from Lincoln Elementary School in Washington State. It seems that on May 9th, students there saw a presentation of sex education material from Planned Parenthood that included information about puberty blockers and graphics of pubic hair art.
What?
That's right. That's right. The most graphic thing kids were shown was a diagram of differently shaped genitalia. Some of the pictures included pubic hair that was shaved to appear like a cartoon cat, while another showed pubic hair shaved like a heart. And then it was different colors as well. It was dyed like Easter eggs.
Yeah, this is in Olympia,
Yeah.
Washington, where they were also advertising what kids would need as they enter puberty, and among the list, of course, like tampons, razors, things like that. Oh, and also puberty blockers.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Nobody's
Fifth
coming for your
graders.
kids.
Yeah, they're not. You pointy-headed reactionary nuts. You.
Well, I just heard this story, too, just, you know, not to take away from your trifecta. There's a teacher in Texas, out of Austin, giving a lesson on transgenderism, saying, you know, a doctor can make a mistake when declaring a baby's gender. Teaching that to kids, yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
You know, recently, in the last 3.5 years, I've, been present for the birth of 2 children. Not once did anyone in the delivery room or in the recovery room or in the NICU or anywhere else in that hospital did anyone say, well, we kind of think that your daughter's a girl and your son's a boy. No, they were pretty sure. In fact, during the ultrasound, they were pretty sure.
Well, yeah, but see, they made a mistake, according to this teacher.
Those dumb doctors who can look and see whether or not a person is a girl or a boy.
Right. The party of science, remember. Okay. Yes.
Now, on with the countdown.
Yeah, the Scott Robbins trifecta, top 3 of the day.
2.
Number 2, Bodie Miller shared a video, and you like it.
Yeah, I do. I like this because, well, he's a parent, number 1, and, of course, an Olympic athlete of some note, gold medalist. Now he's using some of what he learned to teach his kids. After quitting on his soccer team during his first game of the year, he said, I told my son, I'll let you run up that hill, and you're not going to quit. So he took the video camera out, pulled up the car. There was a steep hill, and he made the kid run up the hill. And he wouldn't let him stop until he reached the top. No! And, of course, he put that out there by saying, hey, decisions have consequences. He's going to learn not to quit.
Got it. So it's
he
like,
walks
hey,
away
you made
from
the
his soccer
commitment.
team,
Yeah.
then I'm not going to let that just happen. So, of course, he put it out there, and, of course, you had the usual, that's child abuse. Meh, 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 meh. That's awful. You're humiliated your child.
I don't even know. Does it say how old's the kid?
He's, what did I say he was? I'm not 100% sure on that. It does not say. Bad reporting.
That's all right. Well, I'm so torn on this, to be honest.
Well, are you torn because of the age?
No, not at all. It's not the age.
Okay.
Because I think, yes, initially I'm like, yeah, that's a good lesson.
You talked about run up the hill. The kid was apparently like, yeah, okay, I'll run the hill.
On the
part
other
of the
side
deal.
of it, though, he did quit soccer. And there's part of me that wants to applaud that.
Yeah, that's like, all right, son, it's your time to go get your first beer.
I mean, put yourself, though, in that
we're
position.
not talking about basketball here.
Right.
We're not talking about football or baseball, something like that.
Let's say your kid just walks off the basketball court.
Oh, yeah, run.
We got problems then, don't we, when you get home? Yeah.
Absolutely.
That doesn't happen.
That's different.
And the countdown continues.
Yes, the Scott Robbins.
Good
trifecta.
parenting on this show is very rare, by the way. Usually we talk about all the horrible people that are raising children, but anyway, this is good.
I thought you were talking about me and David.
No, not you guys. No, you guys
Okay.
are exceptional parents, yes. Exemplary. I would
Okay,
say.
all right.
Although I want to talk to David in about 10 years, see where we are.
Okay, got it. All right, where are we at, Casey?
1.
Yes.
Nevada has implemented equitable grading in schools.
Yeah, Clark County School District there, the 5th largest school district in the nation, has moved toward implementing something they're calling equitable grading system as part of their recent grading reform initiative. The new grading method is specifically designed to embody the core values of equity, accountability, and high expectations for all students. For the 2022-23 school year, they sought to implement a consistent reassessment policy to include opportunities for reflection, revision, and reassessment to ensure mastery of our program and curriculum for all students.
What was that last bit of gobbledygook there?
The last bit of gobbledygook was to include opportunities for reflection, revision, and reassessment to ensure mastery of the program.
So what does that mean?
So if you get something wrong, you can look over it
Yes.
and learn what you did wrong and try again.
To try again, yes.
Oh, man, where was that?
No kidding.
Years and years and years
Where was
ago.
all the equity, man?
Sometimes I'm not sure what equity means. Does that mean, dumb kids, no matter if they're white, black, Asian American, it doesn't matter? Or is it just for specific dumb kids?
We need dumb kid equity. Say that.
That's what I want to know. Is that the deal?
I always liked it when a teacher said we're going to be grading on the curve because I thought, well, I'm smarter than these knuckleheads, these 3 or 4 here. I should do better.
And how did that work for you?
I C instead of a D.
And there you have it.
And there you have it, the Scott Robbins trifecta, top 3 of the day. Well done. Appreciate that. Okay. Oh, on another note, anybody want to know how George Soros is spreading addiction, death, and chaos across the United States?
By breathing.
We'll get to that and Nimrod's in the news coming up. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. Okay, I saw this headline, how George Soros is spreading addiction, death, and chaos across the United States.
Wow.
Okay, are we talking about DAs here? Not exactly. This was from the Washington Examiner. Starts by talking about the Drug Policy Alliance. You familiar?
No.
It's a group that has received millions of dollars from George Soros and takes credit for creating cutting-edge policies that have fundamentally transformed the direction of drug policy in the United States, like legalizing weed in 11 states and in D.C. But it goes on to say in this piece that the benefits of marijuana legalization have failed to materialize, leaving hundreds of communities with more addiction, death, and chaos. And so just to run by some of what this says, asking, have you heard this before? Is this new news? And I've, seen some different things about, well, it's not benign. I mean, you're messing up parts of your brain. You smoke too much weed, that sort of thing. But it's addictive, particularly for young users. Its habitual consumption is linked to schizophrenia and permanent brain damage, particularly in the frontal cortex. And as the strength of weed has increased in recent years, it's become more addictive and more damaging. I have heard that. You heard this?
Yes.
Is it still okay to talk about your old weed ways in early college, David?
Well, that's fine.
Your kids are still young enough they won't know what we're talking about yet, right? We got to cut that off when they're, 7?
Honestly, because of the purple-haired freak shows teaching kindergarten these days, weed is like at the bottom of my concerns as a parent. Right now.
I bet. It's as it goes on, what were the supposed benefits of legalization? Like, has crime decreased now that it's legal to buy, sell, and possess? Are states that legalize marijuana rolling in new tax revenues?
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Of course they are.
Are fewer people taking opioids and fentanyl now that marijuana is legal? Because we were told that. And the piece says the answers are no, no, and no. Marijuana legalization has clearly increased crime. Strict regulations and taxes placed on legal marijuana sellers have created a vast illicit market. And I have heard that.
Well, you knew that was going to happen, right?
That was predicted, yes.
Come on.
That undercuts the legal market on price. And because possession is legal, it's virtually impossible to crack down on the illegal market. So that's left rural communities that never experienced drug violence before vulnerable because small county sheriffs don't have the budget, staff, or laws to defeat illegal marijuana farms. This has brought drug-related shootouts, robberies, kidnappings, and killings to communities that never had them before. You heard that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It's happening. I mean, you hear about it all the time.
Recent research confirms that marijuana legalization is also associated with higher opioid use and mortality. Instead of acting as a substitute for more harmful drugs, legal marijuana is a gateway to their increased use.
Like they just pop.
You're not buying it, David. I can tell by the look on your face.
I'm not really buying that last part at all.
Okay.
Because with opioid use, it's kind of opioid use has exploded, even in areas that have not increased or have not legalized marijuana. I think that's kind of reaching. Or I'd like to see the actual data that they're referencing.
There's a link to it in the story. Bring it up just to say, had you heard any of this before? It goes back to George Soros saying he doesn't have to worry about any of the addiction and crime his marijuana legalization causes. As a billionaire, he can afford to insulate himself. And then I'm thinking, well, yes, the same way liberals are when there is a Soros-backed DA in a city that doesn't crack down on crime. Most of the time, those people don't have to worry about it. Not in their neighborhoods. It's other neighborhoods.
Guy is the puppet master, isn't he?
He is.
Wow.
Really is. But it's anti-Semitic to say that. Okay, you ready for Nimrods? Let's roll it out.
When the going gets tough.
Damn it, this is too hard.
The dumb get dumber.
All right, Ian.
It's Nimrods in the News on the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
I love the poorly educated.
All right. Nimrods in the News. Well, we had an inmate in Ohio named Jason Conrad. He escaped from custody while he was being transported to a doctor's appointment, but captured the next day. Why? Well, there was a tip from a McDonald's employee. Jason rode up to the McDonald's on a bike and asked for something off the dollar menu. The employee said, "We haven't had the dollar menu for years," so the guy took off. The employee said the guy seemed out of touch. That's when he remembered, hey, could that be the escaped inmate I heard about? So he contacted police, and they were able to catch up with Jason soon afterward.
Do you have Crystal Pepsi?
New Coke? Ha! And that's Nimrods in the News.